I ain't spent much time out here, but my fleet's already rebuilding, which is good. Bounty hunting hasn't changed very much, and any bounty worth its salt seems to leave the core worlds and hide out there somewhere in the further regions of space, where nastier things could get you, if you want to believe the rumors. Either way, it means I can't stick in the core worlds if I want to make good money. Not unless I want to become a lackey to one of the peoples running power over here. Speaking of, I should probably research them before I head out too. Might be good to know whose money I'm taking. Wouldn't want to find myself feeling too bad about who I'm murdering for space dollars.
Still orbiting Kazaron Station, Roughshot has made a decision to go further north in the system. The pirate bounty seems to be worth its while, and he's confident he could take them all in a fight. But having only reconnected to society very recently, he's also tapped into some research and decided to educate himself on the nearby factions. Welcome back, everybody, to some more Starsector. I appreciate your patience as I was finishing up the vampire game, and I'm very, very excited to keep playing. Seems like the system's rather busy today. A lot of ships coming in and out and doing things as we orbit around. And there's a few things I've done off camera that I want to go over before we move on. Is this another trade? Fast picket pursuing pirate trade convoy. Interesting. We got a lot of garbage out here. You notice that I actually have a lot less money than I did when we ended the last episode, and that's because I basically did a couple things. I refit the hammerhead again, and I'll show you what I did. And then I completely refurbished our tanker so we can hold more fuel, and all those negatives that it had are gone. So that wasn't too much money. It was like 16 grand, which into our pockets right now, you know, that's what we're making money for. We're still scraping by. We're still just kind of getting back into the business of bounty hunting and making cash and working for these people. But before we do anything else, I also wanted to read up on a couple things, because I am a man who enjoys story, and I know the lore in this game is rather interesting, so I'd like to check it out. Yeah, right over here, under factions. We can actually check basically each faction to see what they're all about, and I want to. Some are a little longer than others, but so things like the Syndrian Dictat, I'm very excited to learn about. Also, there are tons of mods out there, and I'm sure I'll play one with mods at some point, playthrough with mods at some point that will add a bunch of other factions in the game, which is really cool too. But we'll start with the hegemony, the people we started to work for right away. They tend to view us favorably, though this has little in the way of implications. At best, you might be sold some low-grade surplus military equipment, or avoid being a target of investigation if a more convenient scapegoat is available. Basically, we're low on the priority list for them now, so that's good. These are what's considered illegal to them: recreational drugs, heavy armaments, harvested organs, and AI cores. And the hegemony is a martial successor state to the domain formed by a lost legion, trapped in backwater system by the collapse of the domain gate network. The whole reason that everybody's kind of shut off from everybody else with this warp technology. Built upon a creative interpretation of protocols which indefinitely extends domain-style martial law, the founders of the hegemony believed that the overriding cause of restoring the domain and therefore stability, peace, and prosperity to the sector, and indeed the entire galaxy, must come before certain niceties of human rights. The survival of humanity is at stake, and it is only the discipline of the hegemony military that protects worlds where some semblance of the normalcy of human civilization can be nurtured. Anything that threatens the great cause must be neutralized. If a few activists must be discouraged for the greater good, so be it. Civilian hierarchies exist to govern the planets and stations under hegemony rule, but are entirely subordinate to the military. The specifics of civilian organization varies between worlds, as was domain policy. When in doubt, the hegemony applies a modified domain-era colonial charter to dictate political organization. The standard charter civilian approach, blah, blah, blah. It's basically how they run their worlds, democracy and the same principles. Basically, you can kind of run your world the way you want, but they'll always override you. So basically, you're kind of stereotypical military, iron-fisted, for the greater good type of people. You might consider them lawful good under some circumstances. You might consider them lawful evil under some circumstances. Ludic Church. Now, these are the people. There's the Ludic Path and the Ludic Church. I don't know. I think we fed the Ludic Path. I don't know. Let's take a look, though. This one's a lot shorter. You know enough about the practices of the Ludic Church to follow the rules of the major holy days and avoid gaffes that might offend the faithful. Okay, so maybe this is who we did. They're cooperative with the Ludic Path. Known enemies, Persian League and Pirates. Oh, we should have looked over here. Known enemies, Persian League, Tritachyon, Pirates, and Ludic Path. Everybody hates the hegemony. Inspired by the martyrdom of a figure known as Lud, during the fall of the domain, the Church of the Galactic Redemption is a hierarchical church with highly syncretic dogma formed from a core of Abrahamic texts and apocrypha, along with domain error reaction against perceived corruption, depravity, hedonism, and transhuman abomination. The Church offers a vision of life lived more simply, of agrarian virtue and humanistic values and prayer against the violence and technology alienation that's torn the sector apart in the years since the fall. So they're all about, they're anti-tech. Got it. They're super anti-technology. No worries. That's maybe why people hate them so much. So what about the Ludic Path then? The Ludic Path commanders have authorization to engage your fleet on site, and all markets are prohibited from trading with you. Great. You might still recover good standing with the Ludic Path, but it's going to take some serious work. Got it. The Ludic Path is loosely associated with a category of radical, decentralized, apocalyptic sects of Ludism that claim a truer interpretation of Lud's message. Okay, so this is like the basic church then, and this is the kind of like extremist, terrorist version of them. They view the church as compromised and corrupt, putting worldly ego and comforts before the true Ludic Path in the end times. The War of Armageddon is now, and the lines are drawn. Only through forceful, righteous action shall good destroy evil, and only through violence will the abomination of humanity's hubris and rebellion against God be swept aside in a final act of redemption, or so they claim. The Ludic Path necessarily finds itself at odds with nearly all other factions in the sector. Okay, yeah, okay, so but they somehow are still allied with the people they see as corrupt. That's bizarre, but all right, sure. Persian League, yeah, I'm curious what these are. We're not really well known, but that's fine. An alliance formed to counter hegemony domination of the sector. Members of the League don't necessarily agree on all issues, domestic or otherwise, and may even come into armed conflict with one another. But the League is united when it comes to the hegemony when they consider it to be illegitimately enforcing martial law in the name of the domain, a dead political entity. The League, by its laws, unites against other external threats such as particularly meddlesome megacorporations, warlords, and the Ludic Path. The Persian League is not intrinsically egalitarian or for individual freedoms as such. The purpose of the League is freedom of the constituent polities? That's supposed to be constituent policies? Polities? With any matters of internal politics of these polities, maybe just I don't know, to be left to their own devices. While the domain might have intervened against the domestic policies of the worlds it ruled, the League specifically forbids intervention. Okay, so grand ruling, but not micromanaging, basically. All right, these, I love their color. So let's we gotta look. Known allies, the Sindrian Diktat. Okay, then these are everybody else's enemies. Got it. All right, the Sindrian Diktat is a polity form, founded polity. I don't know that word. I'm gonna Google it. Okay, it is a word. I'm just an uneducated, sorry, I'm reading the definition. I'm just an uneducated peasant. It's a form of process. It's a form or process of civil government or constitution. So it's like it's an organization or a government, I guess. A polity is an identifiable political entity. Any group of people who have a collective identity. All right, got it. So there's no spelling. I'm just dumb. The Sindri Dictat is a polity founded on relatively recent hegemony military intervention in the Asconia system led by Admiral Philip Andrada. Formerly of the Hegemony Navy, Andrada's hegemony psych profile describes him as intelligent, charismatic, yet prone to narcissistic excess. In his words, the Dictat was formed in the crucible of the Asconia crisis, and with it a new people, a race of humans with emboldened spirit and clarity of purpose. Stronger, possessing the will and determination to overcome the divisions and petty parliamentary politics that bred only chaos when tested by the collapse of the Gate system. Considered by the sector at large to be a military dictatorship. Got it. All right, then we got the Tritachyon. The most powerful megacorporation in the sector after the fall of the domain Gate system, Tritachyon specialized in cutting-edge AI development, including several notable cases of violating the domain ban on autonomous Alpha Plus level AI. And exotic high-powered devices, starship engines and warp drives, power generators, energy converters, force fields. Okay, so these might be the people to go to for those types of things then. See, this is why reading this stuff's also important if you don't know much about the game. Since the collapse, Tritachyon has vastly diversified its operations and insinuated itself throughout the sector. Even hostile factions, paranoid of hardwire backdoors, find themselves forced to employ standard Tritachyon devices, beginning with the ubiquitous Tritachyon PDA. Ah, interesting. They have such a clutch on the system that it is really no getting around using them, so they always have an in, therefore guaranteeing them at least some level of power. From a certain perspective, the Tritachyon corporate charter's peculiar algorithmic self-modifying features might be considered to be an abstract form of AI, which makes use of human corporate officers as integral components. Though this is a philosophical argument which was never satisfactorily resolved in a way that led to any additional convictions of violating the domain's AI ban. I apologize for like my stuttery reading, by the way. This text is really bizarrely small and hard to read, and I'm sit a little bit far back and I'm not running this game at full screen. So it's I'm just trying to kind of read it smoothly. It's a little bit bizarre for me to read, but interesting. They basically have a grip on technology. Independent. Not a unified faction as such, the Independents are a loose category of polities and free agents, unified more by a lack of association with a major faction than any shared qualities. Independent worlds, and the spacers who call them home, often share reputation data, trade generously among themselves, and will readily cooperate to perform short-term security and military actions to better protect what freedom they have maintained by working together. Equally likely, trust can break down, and independents will suspiciously deny each other favors, compete viciously, and turn a blind eye to the misfortune of neighbors. Okay, just like rude then, but no AI is illegal here. Pirates. You made a name for yourself by hunting them down. That's true. Not technically a unified faction, but more loose category of bandits, brigands, deserters, tutors, soldiers of fortune, mercenaries, and free captains that share common belligerence with this establishment. Yeah, they're pirates. Got it. All right, well, now we have a general idea as to how everybody works. Now, we're going to head out this way. So, they're super damaged ship, but they've got... It's either this or... Was it this guy? Colossus, and I don't think I wanted the Colossus. Symbiote Booker. This one might be worth going after. Shevar system. And we're over here. We should be able to make that in one trip and back if we want to. Because we're over here. Yeah, we can get there and back. It's within that second circle. So I think that's what we're going to do. Also, you might notice the map has changed. I've added little marks here that show if I visited the system or not. So I think that's the one we're going to go after then. The Hegemony has posted a bounty for bringing Symbiote Booker, a notorious pirate, to justice. She's just a pirate. She's rumored to be hiding out near an ice giant in a black hole system in the Shevar constellation. The bounty posting also contains partial intel on some of the ships under her command. So we should be good here. Like, we should be able to take this out and make 45 grand pretty easily. And this is 26 days away. We'll see how it goes. So let's unpause, and we're just going to actually jump out of this place. We're just going to go ahead and traverse jump. Goodbye. Turn off our transponder. And into hyperspace, Roughshot sends himself. Oh, we got to put on our sustained burn. And there we are. A lot of jobs popping up from the mercantile company, and we're definitely going to keep an eye on them. For now, though, I'm going to stay zoomed out. I'd rather just keep an eye on what we're dealing with. We're within the core world, so we're pretty safe. The Persian League and the Hegemony are going to have a lot of ships kind of everywhere. But once we bounce out of here, you know, we're going to start losing it. We got a long flight. We got 21 days. We're just going to have to buy more fuel when we get back, but it should still be worth it as long as we don't take too much damage. Domain era probe. Analyze domain era probe, huh? Yeah, it's quite far out. The next, I think, big investment I would like to make is another tanker for fuel. I would love to grab another tanker, simply because we have sustained burn on, so it's really hard. We're going to turn sustained burn off, and we're going to kind of fly around the nebula here. And then we can resume our course after simply by hitting A. But sustained burn is much, much, much more difficult for us to turn around. We'll go ahead and put it back on. I'm not going to put our sustained burn on while we've got this many nebulas here. I think we're going to try and maybe thread the needle. Man, how cool would it be if in the background you saw giant, like, space creatures just, like, warping by through, like, interdimensional wormholes or something? Alright. And so, I think we're just about out of the nebula area, so I'm going to go ahead and hit sustain burn and resume course. Roughshot flips a few switches, a few screens, static cling to life. And back on our track we go. Lost track of what I was saying before all of that, but okay, we're just going to try and go through it. It's just small patches. How are we looking on the map? We're about there. Turn off our sustained burn. Black hole system. Gas giant often deep enough. Let's see. A gas giant. A gas giant. Inner system jump point. So we're here. At least in the system. She has no idea that we are. She is rumored to be hiding out near an ice giant in a black hole system in the Shevars constellation. Ice giant. All right, I think we're gonna swing out here. Actually, let's just go out. Let's just explore a little bit. I don't want to jump in on the black hole. I feel like that might be my death. So I'm not going to. Herzog, ice giant. There it is. All right. Well, when we pop out, they're likely going to be ready for us. So here we go. That's them right there, I bet. We're immediately going to go ahead and say, move in. Oh, domain error. Whoa. Frozen world, ice giant. Oh my god, there's all kinds of different ones. And then we got a domain error probe out here. An example of one of the countless thousands of robot probes ships sent out into the galaxy by the domain to find new resource to exploit, planets to colonize and explore the unknown. Some variants are produced by automated motherships. This specimen appears to be inactive, pitted by smaller impacts. Its hull displays iridescence from fearsome radiation scarring. This probe's manufacture could well date 1,000 cycles ago. I wonder if we can do anything with it. Well, we're going to lay in a course, certainly. This is the volcanic world. Unstable planet with permanently formed crust. Glowing fissures and active volcanoes litter the surface. The magma they spew forth are combining to form flows that travel hundreds of kilometers across the charred surface. All right. we've already read all this, so let's just hit explore. The probe's memory banks are partially accessible, and the data therein contain information about rich, rare ore deposits on a rocky metallic world in the heart of the Alpha Shavar system. Rich, rare ore deposits. Now, I don't know. Ooh, we can salvage as well. I don't know what I can do with this. I wonder if I could set up like a mining colony at some point. That could be really great to hold on to. Ooh. Hello. Okay, well, if I just take all, we're still good. This transplutonics will sell. Metal, we're just going to huck and sell if we have enough of it. Otherwise, I might just dump it for other things. And we got some supplies and some fuel. That was a great little find. That was a fantastic little find. We're over capacity. We're using an extra 0.2 supplies per day. Whoop-de-doo. And now we leveled up, which is fantastic. There's still one more. So we took target analysis. I think the next one I want is it damage control? Or is it advanced countermeasures? There was a defensive one I wanted to start taking as well. Well, I'm going to go with advanced countermeasures. I think that's what it was. So we're now going to take 50% less kinetic damage by our armor on the ship that we pilot. So, there's a bunch of planets in this particular system. We need to be... She's supposedly by an ice giant, so we're going to start pinging. And there's a debris field here. Likely something, but there's a significant chance. Yeah, I'm not going to take that. That's because we already did this. All right, we don't see her here. So we'll go to the next ice giant, I guess. And go here. Off we go. Hiding out in this little black hole system is smart, though. A lot of rings here. When you're in these, your signal goes down. It's harder to be detected. But Roughshot's not new to this, to bounty hunting. It's how he made his living a long while ago. Sometimes you just got to take your time. Patience is key. We're going to go ahead and reset our course here. It's another domain error probe. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and scavenge the domain error probe then. We're going to end up having to dump that metal, I think. If there's anything worth taking here. I think I'm going to get rid of the metals because I'd rather have this, the fuel, and the supplies. And we can fill up on the rest of the metals, and then we can make a decision later about the rest. Cargo pods. Oh, that's what we dumped. So we just ejected that. That's a stable location for a jump point. Let's swing in here. Look at the ore on that. That's beautiful. A giant planet composed primarily of water, ammonia, and methane. Within the depths, gravity generates enough pressure to form a core of metallic hydrogen. We can actually survey it. A preliminary survey indicates that Hedera has a hazard rating of 250% on the standard scale. We can't. It's too many people. We need too much. There's not enough here. So, absolutely not. Not performing a survey on something that requires that much. Okay, she's not here. Next. Ice giant. How many other ice giants are there? This one? Off we go. That could be her right there. Alright, do we ping? Let's ping. Another probe! I keep getting so excited! I mean, it's good experience. We're getting experience points. We've got another... We pinged out something else a little bit further out. So let's explore this. Alright, we're gonna get rid of this. I want the plutonics. I want the fuel. Machines, and then we'll take the supplies. We're just gonna leave the metals at this point. Because we're about to potentially have more ships that we might want to take. Where are you? Nope, another domain error. Oh, there they are. Finally. Setting a course. We're coming for you, girl. We are coming for you. The chase now begins. We're gonna have to emergency burn probably after they're done emergency burning. They must be flying dark. Okay, let's go ahead and emergency burn. Boom. We're not gonna open a comm link. I doubt she'll be able to even say anything that we want. Yeah, cut comms. So, we've got a bunch of good stuff. They've got a bunch of okay stuff. So she's rolling with a Shrike, which I don't really know what that does. A drone tender, a mud skipper, and they're all badly deformed and messed up. We're gonna be rolling in pretty heavy here. I'm very excited to see how my hammerhead holds with my new outfit, which I totally forgot to show you. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it does. Move into engage. We don't want to transfer command. We want to go in. All but... Yeah, okay. So I also want to see if I can send in... I can't. I was hoping I could send them in to the left or something like that, but I don't think I can now. We want everything except for... No, I think we want everything. We have a pretty decent fighting fleet at this point. Deploy. I just want everybody to follow me. Here we go. Up ahead, we're gonna get our first. I've got railguns on my system now. Okay, shields up. Back up. We're gonna try and help these guys out, I think. Oh, they're oh my god, that was just so brutal. That was the fastest kill I've had. Okay, we're gonna move in. Lock onto him. Shields up, back up. Just kind of hover around. Now we're gonna switch over to our Annihilator rockets. Railguns are on auto, but you can see them. Okay, we're gonna back up now. And we're gonna go ahead and vent our flux. Can I not vent my flux? Am I forgetting what button vents flux? It's not V or F? No, we're just gonna move in. I'm loving the build that we've got on our hammerhead all of a sudden. Okay, shields up. Why do I have a engine down? Oh, there, the engines are coming back to life there. Blast those drones out of the sky. Hull's almost down. There it is. There it is. That went super well. Do we have anybody escaping? We do. Everybody after them. We'll see if we can get them. I don't think we're going to be able to catch up, so I think I'm just going to say, okay, claim victory. We can chase them down if we want to. Allow them to go. We cleanly disengaged from them, and it was just an absolute domination. Destroying 4 of their ships and 1 just having to run for their lives. We're going to harry their retreat and try and damage them a bit. Harry their retreat. Your forces harass the enemy ships as they retreat, causing much disruption, but ultimately do not force a battle. The salvage chief reports that several ships disabled or destroyed during the battle can be restored to basic functionality. So let's see what we may have gotten here. A mud skipper, ill-advised modifications, compromised storage, structural damage, so pirate mods, presumably. Faulty power grid, compromised armor. I don't think we really want any of these. I don't really know what some of these actually mean, however. Like ill-advised modifications, compromised storage. We might mothball them and take them because currently our capacity is full. So if we mothball them and take them with us, we can at least break them down somewhere else where we don't have to worry about burning through supplies at an extraordinary pace. So sure, let's take them for now. We'll mothball them. They're mad at us. We're gonna pick through the rest of the wreckage, which we have more space now technically. I don't really want the metals. Machine fuel. All right, now I'll take the metals, I guess. Confirm and continue. Let's see. Yeah, we got the 45 grand just sent to us because we did a job well done. And we can now put, so I'm going to put another point in here so we can start working upwards. And I know I should be maybe picking up some other ones, which we will. I do wonder if we can, oh man, all those, the explosions. Did he just warp out? Yeah, I think he warped out. Okay, I want to take a look at our fleet because there's a couple things I do not want. I don't want these repaired, for one. Suspend the repairs on these two. Let them be. If I mothball them... Okay, we can mothball one and we can keep the other running for the storage specifically, using it as just kind of like a skeleton crew that's just bopping in and keeping it as just a cargo freighter for now. And we'll look at these demods when we get out of here. I think for now, we want to head back to the core systems to buy more fuel, and I think really we want to buy another fueler. We're going to get rid of these ships, and another cargo tanker would be great. So we can get to the outskirts back of the core worlds. We've got a Persian League. Salamanca is a toxic world here. And then the hegemony over here. We got a barren bombed world. And, yeah, let's go to the hegemony. They like us a little more anyway. So that's where I want to get out of there and just bounce. So let's... We can't transverse jump? Oh, something's too hurt. So we have to make our way out of here. Oh, another domain error probe. We have to do the domain error probe. Forgot about that. Oop. All right. Ooh, ultra rich rare or deposit location. We'll go ahead and salvage. I guess we could let the repairs happen. I guess. I don't know. I think we're just going to get out of here. The jump point's here. We don't need to let it repair any further. We'll be all right. We'll put on our sustained burn. I think we're just going to try and beeline it through most of the nebulas here to try and get out of here. Just get thrown very quickly. Okay. Here we are. We can turn off our sustained burn, turn on our transponder, get into the inner systems. All right, we've got a couple bounties that have been posted now that we're here. But that's a military. We'll go over here. Don't mind dealing with the hegemony for now, simply because they've kind of, you know, we've got the best. Man, they were hiding right in there. Wow. They've got the best reputation with us right now. So if we wanted to repair our ships, it's only 2 supplies. Beautiful. 15,000 to refuel completely. Whew. Well, we're not going to make a ton here for the plutonics. We got to look at where we want to start selling these things. I'm just going to dump these here because I do not care, and they're just going to get the open market for that. I want to see if they have any ships I can buy. A fuel tanker specifically. A salvage rig also is tempting because this is the ship. This thing does like, oh, this thing is just damage, so it's kind of on the cheap. But originally designed, it basically, I think, can up the amount of stuff we salvage. I'm tempted to buy one, but I kind of just want tanker as well. Oh, this is kind of a small tanker, but maybe it's cheap, so we might just grab it. The tanker I was looking at was from the Persian League earlier. It was a little bit more expensive, like double the price, but I'm assuming it was bigger. Well, why don't we grab this for now? And then in my fleet, I think I'm literally just going to go ahead and strip these two things of anything valuable that we were able to grab out of it. And then I think we're just going to scuttle them. I'm going to have this auto fit. It's never going to come out into combat anyway. You know what? In fact, no, I'm never going to take you out into combat. So let me strip this. I'm just going to give it auxiliary fuel tanks. For more fuel. Blast doors. Well, this is our first ship that we're buying since the last episode. And as promised, ships are going to start getting named after some of our patrons. So I'm going to yank a patron here randomly. And the patron I immediately pulled was Cardboard Box. So this is the HSS Cardboard Box. You carry my fuel cardboard box in a way, it's sort of fitting. It's sort of fitting. Congratulations. We're going to bop this things up in the capacitors and the vents. So also, this is what we're running at right now. For our hammerhead, I feel like this might be a bit much, but I've got the safety overrides up. Maybe taking those off is a better idea, to give us 30 for more capacitors. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure there will be comments to let me know. But that was a fun little mission in lore, and a good way to kind of just ease my way back into the game. I'll be back soon in Roughshot, having more money in his pocket and another one of his, another tanker. Now I need to figure out, maybe start heading to the bar and looking for people to hire. I'd really love a second in command. We're about ready and due for one.